Hey y'all, it's your friendly neighborhood panda here. Happy July 4th. I'd like to start today's episode a little bit differently. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silence to thank and to honor those who have given their lives, their mental and their physical health in the service of our country to give us the freedoms that we all have. Thanks, guys. Again, this is your family neighborhood panda here. Happy July 4th to all my U.S. friends. Today, we are going to look at a special song throughout the U.S. I've heard it pretty much every year at this time of year. God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood, and then covered by Home Free. But before we do, I have a big announcement. I'm so excited. As of today, July 4th, 2024, I've Got You Covered is getting a Patreon. Woo! Yes, I have set up a Patreon for you guys. First, right now I only have 2 tiers available. The first tier gets you early access to videos, behind the scenes content, and a spot membership in our Discord community. The second tier gets you all that, plus the ability to request songs that you'd like me to look over. All right, now that's going to be first come, first serve. The first person who signs up for the Patreon is going to get number 1 on the list. The next person I ask what they want me to do, and so on and so forth. Y'all, I am so excited, and I thank you so much for making this possible. I cannot wait to see how the channel grows with the new Patreon things in place. I hope you will sign up. And I cannot wait to share with you, like I say, the behind the scenes content and all the other fun stuff we can do. So, yay, that is my big announcement. I will be launching it at midnight tonight, and we will go from there. Our first, if we can get them up, if we get any signups, the first requested video that I'll do will not be next week, but the following. That'll give us time for everybody to get their requests in, for everything to sign up and get, all the bugs worked out on the Patreon, and then we'll go from there. But I can't wait. Okay, with that announcement being done, today, like I said, we are working on a song that I hear every single year on July 4th. Whether it be just the radio, whether it be at the a fireworks display in town, something like that, and it has not lost its potency at all in every single year. And this was done, I can't remember exactly let's look at the date that it was put out. Does it say? Let's see. Remastered in 1984, the year I was born, as a matter of fact. So for 39 years, I've heard this song, and it, like I say, it's still just as special as it was. Let's start off and let's see why. Now, if this isn't an all-American scene, I don't know what is. A guy out on his farm, on his tractor, or, early evening, or maybe it's morning, I'm not sure, just working the land, doing what he does, taking advantage of that American dream to be able to work hard and be successful because you've worked hard, for no other reason.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
Now, this is also another part of the American dream, just to be able to come and hang out with your family, and to be able to have dinner, sit around the table with all kinds of generations. We've got grandma, we've got grandpa, we've got aunts, uncles. What I'm assuming maybe is his son or his nephew or someone. We saw somebody with a military cap on his head. That is what I think people don't realize the American dream is not necessarily being able to become rich and famous. The American dream is to be able to work hard and to be rewarded for the hard work you do fairly. You know, you work hard, you work a day's work, you get a day's wage, a fair day's wage. And in the end, you get to come home to your family, to sit around and talk and eat and pray and to say whatever's on your mind without fear of reprisal. That's the American dream. And you can hear in Lee Green's voice the wistfulness and as he thinks about these things that he is allowed to do and what it cost to gain these things.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Now, this is a very 80s thing to do, not to cheapen the moment or anything, but this is a very 80s pose, where he's looking all, svelte and he's got his knee crocked up on that tractor. It's like, it looks like it's commercial. That's a very 80s thing with the atmospheric lighting and everything, but, I had to point that out. In the midst of all this, you do get that for the time period. You do get a few cheesy shots in there, but I don't think it takes away from anything, because you could hear that raspy growl, that rock voice. I've actually never, I don't think, heard anything else of Lee Greenwood's. So I'm only assuming that he was a rock performer, because you can hear it in his voice, and it really adds to that homegrown average Joe kind of feel.
And God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston.
Now, this is really cool, what he's showing, not only the diversity of the people that have come together in the United States, but the diversity of the landscapes. There are so many different places all across one country. I wonder, actually, how he managed to get all that footage. Was it footage that he'd gotten while he was touring? Was it stock footage that he'd gotten, off of the television, news stories, or what? I wonder how he got all of this footage, because this is beautiful shots of all this landscape he got.
And New York to LA, well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the...
His voice is so clear. You've got that raspy quality to it, but it is so clear, and like he's staying on pitch, and he's got just this potency and piercing quality to his voice. You can tell he's lip syncing here. That's okay. You can tell just by hearing that he has a very clear, very strong voice, and it really fits for this song.
The USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up.
Okay. Every time, I have not actually seen the video for this, but I've heard this song, like I say, many, many times, and every time they come up, he's already brought in all the choir and everything, but they bring in that timpani, that percussion, that timpani that we sort of, here in the States at least, we kind of identify with marching and with military ceremony and pomp and circumstance. And then Grandma brings out the album. The album that shows the history of their family, the things that they have accomplished and been allowed to do in this country. And I'm assuming here, maybe granddad or uncle or somebody who fought in war to give them the freedoms that they have. And it never fails. Like I say, I've heard this song pretty much every year most of my life, and it never fails to make me tear up.
Forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Okay, gorgeous as always, but I want to come back here just a second, and I want to look. Hold on. Okay, right here. Let's see. Right here, public auction. What does that mean? Okay, a lot of times when there's a public auction posted in a town, that means whatever home or land or whatever has been foreclosed on, and so people can auction to buy it really cheap. What's happening here? What is Lee Greenwood saying with that message? Y'all put me in the comments if you know, because I noticed, like, at first he was working his farm. And he goes home and he sits around the table with his family, and now they're standing in front of signs that are posted at public auction. Is it a commentary on the fact that their farm is being foreclosed, and the struggle of the American farmer? Is that what he was putting through here? It's an interesting choice no matter what. So if you know what the story behind it was, please put it in the comments. I'd really like to know. So again, beautiful as always, potent as always, but let's see what Home Free does with it, because Home Free not only managed to get Lee Greenwood himself to come sing with them, they added in the United States Airforce Band to not only thank, I think, and honor the men and women who serve our country, but to show not only how brave they are, but how talented they are. Oh, and I'm sorry, I had to pause it right there at the beginning. But this was actually filmed, if I remember correctly, a little bit towards the end of the pandemic, where we were all just starting to be able to go out and be in public together with masks on still. But we still had to, for the most part, socially distance. And so that's why you'll see in various places that, they're not in the same spot. Some of them in Michigan, Minnesota, Washington. I think Nashville is coming up here soon. They basically recorded it in their separate home-based studios and then brought them all together, and that's why.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start.
Can I just say, that man has not lost a note, okay? He's got a little more of that rock raspiness that comes with age, but it is still just as strong and clear as it was, and it is instantly recognizable as the same person. That's impressive, y'all.
Again, with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
Ooh, the harmonies, and they brought in one of the gents from the Air Force, and he's got a smooth as butter voice. But now they're building to that crescendo. Let's see where they take it.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least.
And listen very closely to that strong, strong percussion that Adam Rupp is doing in there to keep the momentum going and to make it sound very strong and very very intense. Okay.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA.
I love how they're doing this, because the original, until the very end, when Lee Greenwood brings all those voices back behind him, basically in unison, harmony, sure, but in unison, they're singing the same words at the same time for the last two repeats of the chorus. For the most part, it's just him, and instrumentation. And so to bring in Home Free with all of their talents and their vocal lines, they had to kind of break it up to where some people are singing this part of the line, some are singing this part, some singing harmony, some drop out. It's very, very interesting and impressive the way they've arranged this to make it sound so familiar, to still allow Lee Greenwood to shine, but then to also bring Home Free in there and just not take away from anything, but only add to it.
God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota
to the hills of Tennessee,
across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea.
See, I love that right there. Okay, I love the mix of voices they've got going on here. Okay, first we start with Rob. He's, obviously a high tenor, and then it brings beautifully smoothly into that young lady's voice, who has Austin in the background harmonizing behind her, and they mix so well. Then you've got Tim's beautiful, rich, chocolatey bass voice coming behind with Chance's voice, and the two of them together. I always love the two of them together and kind of playing off of one of each other, because their voices are so unique, but they go so well together. Listen to this section one more time.
Minnesota
to the hills of Tennessee,
across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea.
From Detroit down to Houston.
This young lady, oh my goodness, that richness in her voice. We're just going to go back and listen to her just because we can.
From Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless. God please bless the USA.
I'm sorry, y'all. I know I'm meant to be reacting and analyzing on this channel, but that second half of the song, when all of the voices come in singing together, and the pride and joy on their faces, and Adam Rupp, creating the timpani in the background. You can't pause that. You cannot pause that. That is one of those things that brings out a kind of emotion that I think even non-Americans will understand. We understand what it means to be a part of this country, and what the pride and joy it means to hear songs like this, when we think about the freedoms that we have. But I think that the message and the emotion written in this song would translate to anyone to understand that this is important. This is important to us, and the sacrifices made by the men and women who serve this country is priceless. A price tag cannot be put on it. And so, I couldn't pause that. I could not pause that. And I hope I didn't ruin my makeup too much, but you know what? Who cares? I am so glad you guys were able to join me today, and to celebrate this 4th of July and be here for my special announcement. I cannot wait to see you on Patreon. But until then, have a good day, night, evening, morning, whatever time zone it is, and I'll see you in the next one.